Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. In this video, I'm going to show you step by step on how to get a borehole drilled. In our case, we are in Kitui County in Kenya, which is a semi-arid area with erratic rainfall and not sufficient enough to do all year round farming. And because we are doing farming, we decided to drill a borehole. And in this video, I'm going to take you step by step on how to get a borehole drill. So the first thing before you get to the borehole drilling is the hydrology study. The hydrology study, it's a process where an hydrologist comes to your farm or land to be able to identify the point where you'll get your borehole drilled. Here we have a very experienced gentleman from Kitui County who is an hydrologist, and he came to our farm to do the study so that he can be able to give us the location where we can have the borehole drilled. They will charge different amounts. It depends on where you are. So if you need a borehole drill, you need to engage your hydrologist, and then they'll tell you how much they will charge you for the study. So in our case, they did the study whereby they'll get 3 points, and they'll feed it in a machine, and the machine will pick among the 3 points the most suitable point, depending on the rock soil formation, the depth, and they know the process. So after the study is done, you get a report where you'll have to get permits. There are permits needed for you to be able to get the borehole drill. So we have NEMA, we have the county government, and then we have WARMA, which is the water resource management. They have to give you the permit. Then from there, you engage your driller. In our case, we didn't do that. We got the services from our driller because it was fast to do that way. Otherwise, we'll spend so much time getting from one office to the other. And then we get day one, where we get our borehole process beginning. So the guys set up the rig to begin the process of drilling the borehole. And as you can see, we got water, which was at around, we got the first wetness at 68 meters. And then at around 80, we saw the sign of water. And as you can see, this is water. This is not the one that is being pumped. When they are drilling, they usually use water to soften the ground or something. I don't know that part. But what you're seeing now, this is the first aquifer where they got the water. And it was so exciting to see a sign of water, especially from our area where it's so dry. And, even though you have the report, sometimes, you feel uneasy, because if they don't find water, then it means you have to pay a certain amount for the depth that they've gone, and then they move to the next point. But in our case, as you can see, this is real water being drilled. And the whiteness that you see in our land has got this section of this part has some rocks. Nature has its own way, so it's a formation, a rock formation that has white, it has dark, it has gray, and the whiteness that you see is from the rock underground. And now these are the drill bits, not the drilling bit, they are the drilling pipes, where the drill bit is attached, and then they have to add more as the more deeper it goes. Once one bit is gone, drilling pipe goes to the level that they have to change, so they have to keep on feeding the drilling pipes. And I think they are 6 meters long, each pipe. So they will attach that pipe to the next pipe.
Morning.
And in day 2, we had a challenge. That's a drill bit which was broken. So half of the day we could not proceed. And that drill bit gets attached to one of these drilling pipes. And continuously, as they keep on drilling deeper and deeper, they had the pipes. And this is a casing which supports the wall. Once the borehole is drilled, that casing has to be inserted so that the wall doesn't collapse. And this is the soil formation. As you can see, we have different each level or whatever. It has a different formation, so you get a dark rock, a white rock, and soil. So this is up to about 100 meters. Each formation was like 6 meters or more than that or less, and then you get to a different level. So now we get to the level. This is I think day 3, where we got the drill bit back, and they resumed drilling. And we are almost into a point where we are going to get the water. This is about 120, and boom, yeah, there, we get it. That's our aquifer. And we got water. Now we are so excited because it's confirmed, completely confirmed. Now we have water. So you saw everybody running away. People fear water, even the drill operator had to, to run away from the water. And as you can see, he's dressed in a raincoat because, the water will keep on spilling and spilling. So from there, they'll keep on drilling. They don't stop there because they have to go to the 140 or closer to that so that they can, because they are following the report. So they have to make sure they get the the borehole drilled to a point where we have sufficient water. And now we go to the process of changing the drilling pipes. So once it gets to the surface, not really the surface, but there is a certain level where they get so that they can be able to change to add another drilling pipe. Remember, the drilling bit is the one that is at the bottom because it has to break the rock and the ground. So they have to keep on adding and adding to the depth. So you can see this guy has a very big spanner. He'll clamp that, then secure the way they do it with the tools that they have. And then the machine will be, the operator raises the point where they are going to add the drilling pipe, and this is how they do it. So the two guys will pull the drill bit next to the machine. I don't know what to call that, but you can see they are going to add that drilling pipe and clamp it. See, yes, so they've already connected the drilling pipe to the main machine. It secures, and then the operator leaves for it to be in position. And then then it's added to the other drill pipe. There is a male and a female. One is a female threaded, and the other one is a male, so that they screw together by the use of the machine. So it has to tighten both pipes. And then I will proceed now. It's ready again. And this is an hydraulic machine with a huge generator. So then we proceed again. And as you can see, the water means they've hit the aquifer with the water. So what they did now, after this was the last pipe that they added, they went up to 138 meters, and they felt that that was sufficient enough. They didn't need to go the extra 2 meters to complete the 140, and voila, they're done. So it's a goodbye. And when you see the truck leaving, you feel like, all that noise and the activities, everything goes quiet. You feel like, what do I say? When you had visitors and you were chatting and laughing, and then all of a sudden you have to say the byes, and then it just goes quiet. So once that is done, now the truck leaves, they take their stuff, and then we go to the next step. The next step, it's you have to get, they do they call it the pump testing. The pump testing is they pump water 24 hours non-stop, continuously. This is to be able to get to be able to know the yield of the borehole. You know, like you have to know how much water you're going to get from that borehole, because the estimated was a yield of 5 cubic meters, which is an hour, which means that's 5,000 liters per hour. So the pump testing will determine, after they pump 24 hours continuously, non-stop, that will help to ascertain whether you have sufficient water for the pump that you're going to use. And that the pump testing will also advise you on the size of the pump, because you cannot use a bigger pump than the yield that you're getting from your borehole, otherwise it will dry, or once it pumps above what is supposed to pump, you could get your pump burnt, damaged, because it means that it's pumping nothing now. It pumps all the water, and then the yield, the amount of water that is filling into your borehole, it's being pumped out faster than it's filling. So that's why the pump testing is done, to determine the yield and the size of the pump. So they will assemble, they will put their own pump. At this point, we don't have a pump yet. You can't buy a pump because you have to wait for the pump testing results. So they feed these pipes, which they attach their own pump at the beginning, at the first pipe. That's where they attach the pump, and then they load all the pipes, and then after they reach the bottom, because they're also working with the report, the drilling report, to know how far they will go with their pump. And then the driller has also advised them and told them, we've dug up to 138 meters. So they know how many meters they need to take their pump. It has to be slightly above it. It should not touch the ground, the bottom of the borehole. And then after they do that, now they start pumping. As you can see, this is the evening. They started in the evening, which they have to pump until the following day at 6 o'clock, which will be 24 hours. And every time they pump, they have to record. They know how they do, how many minutes they have to wait to be able to record, but we have the report how they were recording the yield. So after every capacity or whatever parameters they use, that's technical. I can't go into that. So as you can see, they are pumping water. So they pump 24 hours non-stop. And they did that for 24 hours, recording after every step that they feel they need to record. And finally, we got the good results. Plenty of water, beyond our expectation, because we were expecting 5 cubic meters an hour. But we ended up with 7 cubic meters, which is 7,000 liters per 1 hour. So if you pump non-stop for 10 hours, you have 70,000 liters a day. And now, this is how it went. Very experienced guys too, through the recommendation of our driller. And just to let you know, when we sourced the driller, we did not source the pump tester. So we paid the driller with the pump testing. So he did everything. And as you can see here, Now, this is confirmed that our capacity was 7,000 liters, 7,000 liters an hour. So the next step, it's our pump. We were advised that for 7,000 liters, we could not install a pump of 7,000 liters an hour. Otherwise, it will be draining the borehole faster than the filling in from the water aquifer. At this point, we did not have enough money to buy the recommended 6,000 liters an hour. But the pump we are getting installed here is 3,000 liters an hour. This is a solar pump with the motor. We needed an inverter, solar panels, power cable, and about 300 meters of HDPE pipe to pump water from the borehole to our overhead tanks at the farm. At this point, we had a trench ready dug for the power cable and the HDPE water pipe. The water pipe is to the overhead tank, while the power cable is up to where the inverter is. At this point, we contracted the pump lowering services. So we have very experienced guys also who are going to lower our pump so that we can start pumping our water. And this is the process, what they do. They also have the pipe. Those are our pipes that we bought so that we can get our water pump lowered to the borehole, so that we can start the process of pumping water. So after this, it's just straightforward. They lower the pump. They have to install the meter, a water meter, which is a requirement from WARMA. And boom, we have our own pump, pumping water. So see how dry the place was before we got water. And these were papayas that we had planted, and we were using water tracking, like we go to the river with our pump before the domestic animals and the people come to fetch water, so that we avoid the conflict between us and the domestic and the animal watering. So now here we got our water. So the next step will be installing the solar panels and the inverter, so that we can be able to now to complete the process of pumping the water from the borehole to the farm, actually to the overhead tank. We have tanks that we have to pump water, because you can't pump directly to the farm. You have to have a storage pump where now you'll start watering from there. And now we have the structure for the solar panels. These gentlemen had to lift it up, and it took about 8 guys to lift that panel up. The structure up, and the squares you're seeing, those are angle lines where the panels will lay. Then after that, it will be connected to the inverter. And then the inverter, will because it's a solar pump. The inverter is to change the power from DC to AC. Alternate, yeah, DC to AC. And that's, our panels are ready. And these are just for the 3,000 liters. It's also, the pump is a 3-phase, and that's the inverter, which is also a 3-phase. So after installing the panels and the inverter, now our water, we did the piping, and as you can see, that piping, it's going to the overhead tank, where we have a greenhouse. And this is the flow rate. As you can see, the pipe is already full, so it's all good. And this is where we'll have a tea to the greenhouse. And this goes to the other tank, the overhead tank in the farm. So let's see. This is the backflow from the overhead tank because it's already full and we've already disconnected the connection that we had. So it's not like we are having two pumps. So this is the one from the borehole. If you're wondering what the greenhouse is doing in Kitui County when it's so hot, we were doing catfish farming then. So that's our catfish in the greenhouse. So we used it to control some temperatures. They don't need that, but we had tilapia, which didn't do well. And we were left with the catfish, which grew up to 3 kilos each piece. But unfortunately, we are not doing catfish farming because it's become so expensive with the fish feed and everything, and there was no return on investment, and very few people understand the fillet part of catfish. So we realized the market wasn't ready for this. So we did our first 300, and after they grew to 3 kilos, we just stopped. So now we are doing another type of farming, and in my next video, I'll be showing you what we are doing. So bye for now. Subscribe to our channel and like the video and share. And I hope you've learned a lot in this process of having a borehole drilled. Bye. See you in my next video.